Besides being in the fire department, you are also with EMS, is that correct? Anyone that's here from the fire department or EMS, please step forward as well, your colleagues. There's one more person. Yes.
We have one other member of the Lakewood Fire Department who is currently not here this evening because he's working at his place of employment, which is a corrections officer. He is also a firefighter in Reliance Hose Company number 4, also known as Station 67 here at Lakewood, and that is Cameron McNeil. And on behalf of Cameron, his Captain William Spiker at Lakewood Fire Department, Station 6707. His proclamation from the township.
Thank you, Mayor. David, welcome back. Be it proclaimed by the Township of Lakewood Mayor and Township Committee that the governing body and citizens of Lakewood honor David Matias for a dedicated service in the United States Army. Your courage, devotion, and hard work are an inspiration to us all. Thank you for your service and dedication to the country and community. Signed by the Mayor and the Clerk on behalf of the Committee. Behind us. Again, a proclamation from the Township of Lakewood be proclaimed by the Mayor and the Township Committee. The Township of Lakewood as the governing body and citizens of Lakewood honor Jose Ortiz for his dedicated service in the United States military. Your courage, devotion, and hard work are an inspiration to us all. Thank you for your service and dedication to the country and community.
Ladies and gentlemen, please all rise. Give you a standing ovation for the work that you've done. And women, I'm sorry. You may be seated. I received a phone call today from an individual from one of the active adult communities who reached out to me and said, Mr. Miller, Mayor of Lakewood, I just want to thank you. It means so much. When I came back from Vietnam, I came back to Lakewood. I was living in Lakewood, and I came back to Lakewood, and I wasn't recognized. And I said, Mr., whatever his name was, I said, it's never too late. I would very much like for you to come to a Lakewood Township Committee meeting and thank you for your service back then. It is never too late for us to show our appreciation to those who have served in the military, and we are here today because of them. We are here living in freedom because of those who serve. And I ask of you all this evening, if you know any Lakewood resident who is a veteran from Lakewood, who's lived in Lakewood and came back to Lakewood and did not get a welcoming, I'd like to know about it. And I'd like to have the opportunity to thank them as well. And if they live in an active adult community and cannot make it here, I will personally, together with some of my colleagues, go out to them. So again, if you know of anyone that fits this criteria, please let me know. Our next presentation is, I really enjoy doing this monthly, is our Employee of the Month. Drum roll, please. There we go. This month's Employee of the Month is Donna Kelly. I would like to call the Chief of Police, Donna Kelly's from the Police Department. I would like to call the Chief of Police to be here as well. And together with, Employee of the Month was actually the brainchild of Committeeman Mayor Lucy in the beginning of 2011, who thought of this great idea, great plan, and I will call him down again to give the same speech he does monthly before we give the presentation.
Oh, I forgot my notes. Well, Mayor, thank you, and it's a particular pleasure for me to be down here today this month because I have the privilege of being a liaison with the police department from the committee and to act on the committee's behalf for the police department. We started this Employee of the Month program It wasn't only me, it was the entire committee actually that started it, and we did it because we wanted people in Town Hall to be recognized for the good work that they do. It is a totally apolitical process. Usually we find out when we get to the meeting or a couple of days before who the Employee of the Month is. They're usually voted in by their peers, other people in Town Hall, or citizens and people who have had interaction with them in Town Hall. And it has really made a difference because people feel that when they really try hard, they are recognized. Of course, we recognize them on the committee, but they are recognized by their peers, by the members of the public, and it really lends to a nice upbeat attitude in Town Hall. And I have to say that I'm particularly happy to do it for Donna. You know, the Traffic and Safety Bureau, where Donna works, is a very busy bureau. Under the chief, and I think I saw Sergeant work here before. I don't know if he went. Oh, there he is. And I saw, okay, here are the other two guys. I saw Dave Silverstein. I see Dave Silverstein and Eric Mann. We've had plenty of occasion to interact with, unfortunately, in the past at scenes where they are called out to do some of their work that's a little bit rougher to do. But we also have occasion to work with Frank, Dave, and Eric on a lot of very happy occasions. And that unit in the police department is an extraordinarily busy unit. They handle so much, and they always tell me, of course, they cannot do it with the help of the people who sit in the office at the desk, take all the phone calls, and then tell them where to go and what to do. Right? You tell the sergeant where to go. There you go. She says yes. And it's a pleasure when people call in for traffic and safety all the time for all sorts of services. Donna handles the calls, Jean handles the calls, and both of them were employees of the month. So that really goes to tell me that under the direction of the chief and the sergeant, that unit is really, really doing well. We're very proud, and we're exceptionally proud to ask Donna to accept the Employee of the Month award that comes with the traffic spot. And now, I mean the parking spot. If somebody parks in that parking spot, there are 3 traffic and safety officers who are going to get totally ticketed. Well, they're and impounded right there. There you go. I'd like to ask the chief to say something.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a well-deserved honor for Donna. As Committeeman Lichtenstein said, the Traffic and Safety Bureau is an extremely hard-working bureau of the police department, a tremendous amount of work. Donna's main job is to schedule all the off-duty officers who are working on side jobs. And can you imagine in a township like Lakewood, constant calls from contractors, Blue Claws games, private organizations, Hachno Secretores, Shiva Brokers, you name it, we're assigning officers to work off duty. And Donna's trying to juggle that, and she'll get a call sometimes late in the evening, oh, I can't make that job, and then she'll have to pull out the list and go down the list of names to hire another officer to do that job. So it's a difficult job, and Donna does it extremely well. And we're very, very grateful. And it doesn't leave any doubt why Donna was picked as Employee of the Month, because we get rave reviews from the contractors and the individuals who want to hire officers what an exceptional job she does. So Donna, from myself and the police department, thank you so much.
Don, I would like to echo the chief's words, and on a personal note, there are certainly times I'll be go to an event and I see they didn't hire an off-duty officer, and you know what happens. I pull out my cell phone. I told the proprietors of the event, you need an off-duty officer here. Pull out my cell phone and call you at home and say, Donna, get on the horn. And at night, she goes ahead, gets hold of the off-duty officer. And by the way, off-duty officers are paid for by the event coordinator. So if you ever on ShopRite and say, why is that officer sitting in ShopRite? ShopRite pays for that. But we don't pay that out of tax dollars. It's actually sponsored and paid for by ShopRite. As well as private events pay for private officers. So it's not tax dollars. But in any case, Donna coordinates that. And we are so thankful. And from a personal level, when I call you late at night and it rings and I wake anyone up here from your family, I really sincerely apologize. That being said, I'd like to call the family up here for a photo up here, right here. Chief, you can stand next to John. Donna, your families, stand next to you, Chief. And myself, I guess.
Joe? Eric, you're training him young, Eric. That's our official police photographer.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Very nice. Very nice.
Isn't that nice?
I totally forgot. Anyone that walks into traffic and safety knows that on Donna's desk there is a bowl of candy. I didn't think you offered, so I don't want to make it out of the auditorium. So I bought 2 bags of candy to refill the candy bowl at Donna's desk. So I will be passing this over to David. Great. Okay, great. Thank you.
If you came only for the presentations, our township business is very exciting, but if you want to leave, now's a good time. It's up to you.
No. We'll get a chance. Please. I'll give you 2 cards. The fireman. Check it out. Nice. All right. See you around.
Each member will have a limit of 4 minutes to speak, and limit of 1 time at a podium. Say your name and address for your action.
Pulaski, 109 7th Street. I'm speaking today because the residents of Lakewood last year they have gotten more active to fire elections, a very unheard of election. And last year we had, I think the typical turnout was like 200 voters, very, very small. I have a list from the Ocean County Board of Elections they sent me last year from May 24th. There are 37,790 voters in Lakewood, so 200 is a joke. But last year we had a much higher turnout. I think we had like 500 voters that came, and there were many, many more voters that came. The problem is that the only place to vote by fire elections is by the firehouse by the corner of Route 9 and James Street. By all other elections, there are 43 fire districts. That's the map that I just gave all the committeemen. There are 43 voting districts. However, for fire elections, everybody's supposed to vote in one place. 37,790 registered voters and counting, it's impossible. I know plenty of people that told me there was no parking, the lines were long, etc. The residents of Lakewood have filled out a petition, which states very clear in the state law that if you have 25 signatures, I'll read it to you, the wording of the law. Polls and hours. Composition of 25 or more voters filed with the clerk of the board at least 20 days prior to the date of any election. After the first election, the Board of Fire Commissioners by resolution may divide the fire district into 2 or more polling places. The polls for any election shall be open between the hours of 2 and 9 p.m., but the board may designate a later closing hour on the same day. The board shall furnish the necessary books for entries of the names and addresses of the voters. So basically, the residents of Lakewood have coordinated this petition. We had more than 25 signatures, and we submitted this to the fire commissioners by their last meeting. We forwarded it to the County Board of Elections. So far, the County Board of Elections has extended polling hours till 10 o'clock because elections are the third Saturday in February. And being that it's Saturday, the Orthodox community has a very hard time coming. They can't come until 7, so they're extending it 1 hour for us. However, they say that I'm hearing different things. They told me personally that the problem with opening up more polling stations is that there will be voter confusion where to go, since the fire commissioners are not required to send out sample ballots. I've heard another report that the County Board of Election Commissioners have said that if they would send out sample ballots, it costs them $30,000, and therefore they don't want to do it. I think something can be worked out. I think we can have it publicized in the newspapers and all the local websites. But I really, really think that we must have at least one more polling place. I know the mayor has reached out to them to open up town hall. At a minimum, I think they should switch the elections to town hall. If they're not going to open up another polling place, at least switch it over here. There's more parking over here. People know this building a lot better, etc. I would like to ask the Township Committee for their help to try to work this out with the commissioners. I don't think we need sample ballots. I definitely think regular advertising will do the job. They already have the petition and everything, and I think it's even anti-democracy to have one voting place in the whole Lakewood when we have almost 38,000 registered voters. So I gave the mayor a copy of the petition that we submitted to them, and this is the voting map. You can see the easiest way to do it would divide the whole town between south of the lakes and north of the lakes. There's only one voting district which overlaps, which is District 4, and it overlaps by Hurley and Cedar Bridge, which is all commercial as far as I'm concerned. So I think that all the commissioners of the Board of Elections, all they would have to do is slice all the voting districts north of the lake and south of the lake into two separate books, and I think it can easily be done. I personally offered the County Board of Elections to pay for the advertising if they need be. So if the township can please help out with that. I think that maybe even, I'm surprised that when the state legislators just recently passed this bill to move school board elections to November, they didn't move fire elections as well. It could be the legislators themselves don't know about it. Because there's no reason for it to be held a separate date, and if it's such a big problem, then maybe it should be moved to November. Maybe the Township Committee can pass along, together with the County Board of Elections, could speak to the legislators to have this moved or something. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lasky. I certainly discussed the County Board of Elections, and if we can utilize the town hall building, I think it would be helpful for that. But as you know, at the end of the day, the decision is up to the Ocean County Board of Elections, and at our decision, we can open the building, we can say we'll open it, we'll make it easier for people, and that at the end of the day, they're the ones that need to lobby to get them to split the districts. It's not like the township, but rather Ocean County Board of Elections. Good evening, Larry.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor and members of the Lakewood Township Committee, I politely ask you to hold all comments until I am finished with my presentation tonight. On January 19, 2012, in front of this committee, I described instances of nepotism in the hypothetical township that has laid off employees due to a lack of funds. One situation involved two relatives of a township committee member in this hypothetical township. Upon my completion of that presentation, I was asked by Committeeman Langen to respond to some questions of his. One question was, to paraphrase it, were there any Lakewood committee members who fit the hypothetical situation I had just described? I responded that the two employees were Committeeman Langen's nephews. Upon Committeeman Langen's denial of such a situation, I said I would apologize to him in public if my information was incorrect. Since my previous presentation was called question as to its accuracy, I now proceeded with a more in-depth investigation. Here are the results of my investigation. Number one, I offer in public my sincere apology to Committeeman Langen. The men in question, who are employed as I had previously described, and who are brothers, are not related, to the best of my knowledge, to Committeeman Langen. But again, to the best of my knowledge, they are related to another Lakewood Township official who really disappointed me by not acknowledging his family relationship with these employees of the Lakewood Public Works Department. Number two, as I previously stated, Committeeman Lange's questioning of me on January 19, 2012 led me to undertake a more in-depth investigation. During this further investigation, it appeared to me that 3 other Lakewood Township officials might possibly have family members working in the Department of Public Works. I truly wonder if any of these family members were hired because of their relationships to township officials. Just a thought of mine. By the way, these 3 were not previously identified by me during the January 19th meeting. Number 3, at this time, I am now choosing to give those involved time to identify themselves and perhaps explain why the Lakewood Township is hiring family members of township officials at the same time that the Lakewood Township employees are being laid off. In the future, I plan to report on these situations. Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate you coming to the microphone, and certainly I'm sure Mr. Langer appreciates your go ahead.
I'd like to answer this one. One of the employees happens to be my nephew.
I know.
That's hard. He was qualified for the position. He had worked 2 years in another township, and it meant the oil position. Felt he was qualified for it. He was offered a job, and he accepted it. We have not laid anybody off at Public Works.
Not Public Works, other positions.
There's nothing I can lay off. Some people have been terminated for positions for personnel matters, but there's nothing to lay off.
If I may, I too would like to say, I think after the last meeting, I think I met you right there in that seat, the second row, and I came over to you and I said, Larry, I actually have his first cousin once removed, 2 of them to this place.
Yes, I
2
know.
first cousins once removed who are working in Public Works, and I think I told it to you when I was sitting right there, right next to you, and I told it to you immediately, and told it to you that. And if you throw a rock anywhere in Lakewood, you randomly will probably hit someone who's related to you somehow. That being said, I'm not going to start micromanaging the manager's office, and every time you introduce someone, one of the questions has to be, are you related or even distantly related, cousin once removed, to someone sitting on the committee? There are guidelines, I'm referring to that, mother, brother, sister, brother. There are criteria of nepotism of who you cannot hire, consider conflict of interest, etc. But every distant relative that may come up, and like I said moments ago, I'm related to a lot of people in this town, a lot of old-time Lakers, and old-time born Lakers, and all my years in Lakewood. A lot of old-time Lakers with large families, somewhere along the line, they have some of my distant relatives. And as long as they're not the ones to lobby for that person to get into the town or have anything to do with it, other than just one day waking up and finding out, hey, wait a second, I have relatives who work in one of the departments. There's nothing wrong with that.
Norman Young, 192 Cottonwood Drive, Lakewood. I'd like to know if we have anyone working on the evacuation plan for Lakewood. I also would like to know if anyone on any form of a committee for the infrastructure for this town. We've had several bad accidents. We know how many times I've come here about the light on County Line Road, backing up the cars unsuspected, cars coming off Route 9, going east on County Line Road, cars going east on Kennedy Boulevard. This week there was a horrific accident which I was on my way coming home. And I don't know who was at fault, but I did see the van turn on its side and the dark of light extricating people. I have a hard time with this because I really feel that this town and this community must do more. Since we, and yes, we are growing. And we are growing in leaps and bounds. And that's not a problem. Towns should have some growth. But we should have some control of the people who drive around this town. I mean, there has to be some form of an infrastructure. I've seen arrows, I've seen County Line Road turning arrows, which are great. However, I really feel that being that there's so many lights, I don't know, the backup, right-hand also feel that this campus is good enough to provide some safety belts for a lot of people. Our population is increasing. I was driving in when I developed the and I've been very surprised. Somebody stepped in front of me, and I thought, where is the safety belt? It's 11:30 in the morning, and I don't know if you have any more of the safety belts, but I'd like you to offer them to people. I don't want to see anyone else talking with guns about safety belts. I also want to mention about town and stuff in general. Why do you have banners on top of buildings? I don't think banners are permitted. We drive through this town, and it's like the Jersey Shore on TV. You know, I mean, what is this? This is disgusting. I've never seen anything like it. It just seems like people are allowed to do whatever they want in this town. The infrastructure and ethnicity of this township calls for a change. And change is good. And it's possible if everyone has a voice. I'd like to see this town in general, the Main Street, everything cleaned up a little. Sunday is disgusting in South Carolina. People walk in front of you, don't need to talk about the banners, selling flags. You know, you have a light, and the next thing you know, somebody's knocking on your window, wanting to buy a flag. I would buy a flag, but I don't appreciate someone knocking on my window when I stop at the red light and they're distracted me, and somebody could walk in front of me. I think we've got to clean up the town a little more, spice it up, get rid of those banners. I really don't think they're allowed.
Really, thank you for coming to the mic. We've touched upon a lot of issues. I'm going to try to develop things in the role. With regard to evacuation plan, yes, we do. Our Office of Emergency Management does work on evacuation plan. Two various main arteries, essentially affected with this evacuation plan. As a matter of fact, this week, the chief meeting came to the microphone to discuss the meeting, which was to discuss evacuation plan to fire schools as well, in case we not casualties of some sort. And it's certainly being looked into and worked on very recently an evacuation plan for community development, as well as we know we have a lot of assisted living places all over 70. Each one of them are actually being worked on and planned. As a matter of fact, each of those facilities need to have by law an evacuation plan if they have, and their evacuation plan sort of has to fit with the town, so we know what we have there upon getting there, and that will work out. With regard to traffic in town and all that, and pedestrian traffic with reflective help, I'll be open and honest. Another one stop to walk around with a black jacket. I'm wearing one myself, or a black pants, or a black hat. At night, we are practically invisible, really invisible. The past month, actually, I've been getting 3 reflective belts out for office. I tell people if they'd like a 3 reflective belts, and I'll advertise again to the public. If anyone would like a free reflective belt, please come to town hall. And first of all, the reason why I don't just stay on the street, running on the block and can't get everyone. One of my conditions I make is you must wear it. I don't want someone to take it and sitting in the bottom of the drawer or something, you don't take it. You don't are expensive. We don't take them actually. It comes from the Ocean County Board of Safety and Transportation. We get it from them, and they actually gave us last time it was about 500. We actually gave out over 500 on our second box now. Again, anyone that would like free, we're more than happy to come to town hall and pick it up in the mayor's office. I did have some schools come to have 8th graders that walk. They wanted to make a rule for their 8th graders to wear it to walk to some school. And also, I tried another idea, which I'm in the process of working on right now. It was 17 months ago. Being quite honest here, open. Black jackets were invisible. We've contacted 24 synagogues already in town, and rabbis, that they'll be willing to speak about it on their Saturday sermon, the importance of wearing reflective belt. I also plan on this, I'm expanding on this, not just the Orthodox, but any community. I'd like to reach out to the church as well. Anyone that would like to avail themselves to a free reflective belt, we're giving them out here in town hall. It's donated by the Ocean County Board of Traffic. I want people to wear them. It's the way to go. In the military, it's the funniest thing because we wear a green uniform to be camouflage, then it's all very reflective belt. So I'm not sure what direction they're going with it, but it's mandatory on the days that night, from sundown, sun up, if you're walking around outside, you have to wear a reflective belt. I wish you would create a law here as well. I don't think there is, but I certainly will implore everyone to wear that reflective belt. And last but not least, you guys got the banner thing on the side of the building. I know it's a hot issue right now. I know it's being discussed over in the respective manner.
Actually, it's going to be a little better point, because earlier today, Deputy Mayor Ackerman and I had a meeting with the zoning officer and the inspector officer along with the township attorney to discuss just this matter, and we will be bringing, sometime in the near future, we will be bringing a revised ordinance for the committee to have input in and to discuss with regard to the signs and banners in the downtown. So, we are on it.
Very well. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for being out there. Good evening, sir.
Jerry Rowland, Governor's Road. On the agenda K8, there's a resolution, and it's very vague as to where it's and what it's referring to. A couple of meetings ago, I had referred to a similar situation, at which time at the end, Commissioner Langer said he agreed with me that there should be greater transparency as to what the resolution is referring to. If you just have a small agenda, or, you don't know what in the world it's all about. So, again, I guess they didn't take up on Steve Langer's comment that maybe there should be a reference to it more about what that's about. So since it is about the Little League area, and it said that it should have a paved surface parking lot, I guess that means it's just on the ground, yet online there's reference to a request for proposal for a parking garage for the same area that's to be at least 2 stories, possibly 5 or 6 stories high in the future. I would think that would be a contradiction, that to spend money on paving just one flat piece of land and then a couple of years later to go and say now we're going to put up a 2-story parking garage, that this could be wasted money. I don't know if there's like a definite contradiction in goals that would be occurring and possibly, wasting of money.
Thank you. Deputy Manager, Steve Martin.
Mrs. Boland, there are several things being done here. The concept always was that the money allowed for it to be able to build a multi-story parking deck. We have a question as to whether the federal grant monies that are allowed as of this date will be sufficient for that. Therefore, the plan has been brought up together with New Jersey Transit as the agent of the federal government for processing those contracts. We definitely do a surface lot, but to do an investigation now of what the soil will be